What's up, everybody? How are we doing? Welcome to Sunday evening's late night agenda. How weird is it having no football today, by the way? I think we've all been spoiled with the amount of football that we've had recently, and yeah, no football today feels a little bit weird, doesn't it? Feels a bit weird, but we've one more day to get through. Then we've got football Tuesday and Wednesday, so, you know, we'll get through it together. We'll get through it together, folks. I hope you're all well. Thanks for popping in. Apologies that I'm about 90 seconds late, but nature did call and man had to answer. So look, where are we? Loads to get through tonight. We'll talk about Tielemans, we'll talk about Neuhaus, with all the usual suspects. Each day some more and more little bits start to come out into the press and, you know, more people, you know, have opinions on it. So that's all we can really do at this point is discuss the opinions. When do you think we'll sign our next player? I don't think it's going to be too far off, Philip. I mean, I just want to adjust this camera, get myself a little bit higher in shot there. I don't think it'll be too far off, mate. Now, I've no idea when the date will be. I know some people got excited about a Liverpool photographer, you know, putting up something, but, you know, to me, from what I've seen of the image, it absolutely bangs of a youth signing, because it looks like whoever it was that was signing the contract's parents were there with them. So, I don't know if you've seen that image floating around social media, but to me, that just looks like a youngster, and maybe another academy signing or something like that. Hey Craig, you good? I'm alright, man. I'm alright. I've had a bit of a toothache for the past 4 days that just will not disappear. Love the kit, by the way, said Delwyn. Thank you. It's Toronto. It's one of the old Toronto shirts. I did tell you guys I had lots of different football shirts and MLS shirts, but there you go. As an Irishman, do I think England can win the Euros? Well, look, anyone that's in the semi-final can make a valid point to go and win it. What I will say is, it's going to take some performance to beat that Italian team. You know, Spain could do it, maybe. But there's a big semi-final for England to get through first against Denmark. A very pumped up, very well organised Danish team. But look, let's not kid ourselves. England absolutely swept aside the Ukraine in Rome yesterday and looked pretty impressive. So I think it's going to be a very interesting end to the tournament. And I think all four teams will feel rightly that they can go on and win it. What do we got? Where do you get the football shirts? All the MLS ones, I usually buy them when I'm over in Florida. So there's a shop over there called, I think it's called the United World of Soccer or something like that. It's in one of the shopping malls. I don't know if it's the Mall of Millennia or one of them in Florida, and there's a great shop in there, and I go in there and the lads always look after me, and yeah, that's where I get them from, all the MLS shirts and stuff like that. I've got Boca Juniors and a few other shirts in there as well. Right, what have we got? What's the best Liverpool game you've ever seen? It's got to be the Barcelona one, hasn't it, mate? The 4-0. But look, we're not here to talk about past glories. We're here to hopefully look ahead to future glories. And where do we want to start off tonight, ladies and gentlemen? Because there's been talk of Tielemans. There's been some talk about Neuhaus. Otavio's agent has spoken a little bit. More stuff around Saul Niguez as well that we could have a little chat about. As well as, of course, the fact that we have moved a couple of players on. Liam Miller and Camille Grabara have both left the club for, I think, somewhere around 4.6 million in total. So that's another few quid in the coffers that Michael Edwards has sorted out. Renato Sanches is where he wants to start. This is an interesting one, isn't it? Because Renato Sanches has been doing what a lot of players do when they think they may get a move. He was on the El Private Jet, you know, nice for some, and tweeted a picture, and then I think it was liked by a couple of people, and, you know, the cryptic clues and all this stuff. But what I did find out from reading the story about the tweet is that apparently Bayern Munich do have a buyback clause on Renato Sanches, and the article suggested that Bayern Munich may be looking into potentially taking up that buyback clause. Now, that's about as far as I can tell you on it. We have been strongly linked with him, as I spoke about yesterday and last night's stream. One article went as far as to say that Liverpool are already in negotiations over the player. I don't know if that's true or not true, but the buyback clause from Bayern Munich was an interesting fact. Let me just see if I have it on my phone here, actually, because I often take screenshots of these things just for when we need to have a little chat about it. So let me just have a look. Did I take the screenshot of it? Not that one. Not that one. So, right, yeah, so here's what I don't get, okay? And I'm going to read this out, and then I'm going to talk through why it does make sense to me. So, again, I take stuff from various places, and I always say where I read this article from. This particular segment I'm about to read out now comes from The Echo, which has been a little bit all over the shop, if I'm being honest. But The Echo, this says, The Echo understands Sanches is not an option for the Reds, as he is regarded as too expensive considering the status he would have in the squad. Various reports in Germany suggest Bayern are keen to re-sign the midfielder and could look to activate a buyback clause that saw the deal when he departed to League 1. Now, look, first and foremost, this isn't me having a dig at The Echo, but using that rationale, how is €35 million too much for a player in central midfield? Somebody who will probably be coming in to fill the boots of Gini Wijnaldum, who had a huge impact at Liverpool. So if we're really in a position where we're looking at €35 million as too expensive, then, you know, we might as well throw our hat at it, ladies and gentlemen. So, firstly, I don't believe that to be the case. Look, I'm sick of hearing The Echo understands this, or X and Y understands that, or this. Nobody understands that. Let's be honest. You know, fuck all, same as me, except I don't pretend to know anything. But what I will say is, if Bayern Munich are interested in signing him, which some reports have suggested because they have the buyback clause, then clearly the kid's got something about him and they feel they may have made a mistake by letting him go. So, would I have him at Liverpool? In a heartbeat. Yes, no problem. €35 million seems entirely realistic to me. But, you know, again, a lot of it's still just paper talk. So we have to wait and see. I do think something will. I do think we'll see movement in the coming week or so on the transfer front from Liverpool. But yeah, again, to hear the phrase there, too expensive for, what was it again? The status he would have. Status? I mean, you're either good enough to play or not. I didn't realise that when players came to the club, they had a status sheet that they had to fill out. Am I going to be tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3? So what I mean, you're either good enough or you ain't. We're either signing a player because he's good enough, or we're not signing him because he ain't. Status should have fuck all to do with it, particularly when we're only talking about 35 million quid. So, you know, again, one of those where I'm just left scratching my head going, what on earth is this about? You know, they are. But, again, you know, it's just one source's opinion. Right, what have we got? Is this about Sanches? Yes, Ben, it was about Renato Sanches. So the only thing I learned from all of that was that Bayern have a potential buyback clause that they can trigger if they so wish. I didn't know that, got to be honest with you. And will they trigger it? I don't know, because this again could be linked to Neuhaus, because a lot of people believe that Neuhaus will join Bayern Munich next year, and if that's the case, they'll probably wait for that, and I don't imagine they'll trigger the buyback clause in Renato Sanches' deal. But either way, I guess we'll find out soon enough. Renato Sanches is now, of course, out of the Euros after Portugal were knocked out. I'm sure he's on a well-deserved holiday right now, and, you know, his agent will probably be mapping out his future as we speak. So, yeah, let's just wait and see. But, yeah, that's midfielder number 1 that we talk about today anyway. The Echo reported we were after Messi. I don't know if they did or not, but I certainly did see something about why Messi could impact Liverpool or something like that. I didn't read any further because it was just nonsense and I couldn't be arsed wasting my time reading it. What top is that? Said James. It's Toronto. Well, it's an old Toronto top, mate. Do I know what the amount is of the buyback clause, Eileen? No, I don't. No, honestly, I don't know what it is. Sorry, I'd be lying to you. I'd be just making up a number. You like the Superman edit? It's brilliant, Dan, and I think it might be you that made it, mate, because it definitely wasn't Dan that sent it to me, and I was, you know, I should have tagged you in the post, but mate, it made me smile. Thank you so much. You really, really brighten my spirits, dude. Thank you. Brilliant edit. Looks class. Looks really good, actually. I mean, fair play, mate. It's brilliant. Right, let's move on to Youri Tielemans. This is where it gets, I suppose, a little bit exciting, but yet not exciting at the same time. So, Paul Stewart. Some of you young'uns out there mightn't remember Paul Stewart, former Liverpool player. He reckons, and again, just one gentleman's opinion, that we will see Youri Tielemans wearing red for Liverpool next season. You know, Paul might know something we don't know. Paul might be just giving an opinion like the rest of us. But the part again that caught my interest in this was that apparently We all know Leicester get top dollar for the players. We all know Leicester don't get pushed around in the transfer market. I think we can all agree on that one. They do good business, they get good money. But if the price that was mentioned is the right price, which was in and around 65 million euro, which to me, quick maths in my head, about 54 million pound, 55 million pound, you know what? I'd snap their hand off. If you could get Yuri Tielemans for 55 million pound, go buy him. Go buy him right now, please, and then get Jude Bellingham the following summer. Because, I'll look at John McGinn and I'll say, good player, but he's not a 50 million pound player. Yuri Tielemans is a 55 million pound player. So, absolutely, if that is the price, and Yuri Tielemans is willing to come to Liverpool, and Leicester will do business at that price, get him. Just get him. Simple as that. Because he, at 24 years of age, is progressing into an absolutely outstanding player who I have to eat humble pie on, because I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I did previously say I'm not sure if he was good enough or not. Well, you know what? Those doubts have been decimated over the past 6 months or so, and I have no doubts in Yuri Tielemans. So if that is true, if that's the price point, get it done, please. Please get it done, please and thank you, because, he is worth that money. I would have thought the number would have been at least 10 or 15 million higher, if I'm being honest. So yeah, look, again, I'm not saying that Paul Stewart knows something we don't know. The gentleman has an opinion like the rest of us, and maybe, like a lot of us, he's thinking positively, and I like it. Nothing wrong with it. We all like to think positively, but does he fit into our system though? Well, yes. We should have lots of different players that can play in lots of different ways, that can allow us to tweak our system if needs be. One other interesting thing, I don't know if you guys seen it as well, is that Neymar was interviewed and he said that he was asked to name 5 players who have more technical ability than him, and he named off I don't know who, I can't remember the other names that he named off, but one of the players he named was Thiago, and I just thought, alright Neymar, I don't like you mate, but you know your ball. Do you know what I mean? You know football, mate. Naming Thiago was one player who was more technically gifted than himself, so Neymar knows ball. I think it's fair to say that. Do I think it's coming home? Well, it's coming home to either Denmark, England, Spain or Italy, mate. It's going to one of them homes. Look, I think England have a chance. Of course I do. But I don't think... I know a lot of English people are already looking to the final, looking ahead to Spain or Italy. But I wouldn't underestimate Denmark. As an Irishman, trust me, don't underestimate them. They gave us a whooping at one point, and tournaments are often about growing into it. England are certainly growing into the tournament. Denmark, their performances have been very good, but as I said to you guys the other night, that Italian team, they look fired up for this tournament. So, it's going to be a great couple of semi-finals no matter what happens. Liverpool, what's this? Craig with hair is class. Did you see that picture, Abdullah? That was my confirmation picture, so I would have been about 12 years of age, mate, when that picture was taken. And some might say a young member of the Beatles, perhaps. I won't argue with it, but yeah, it'll normally look better, man, because it was an undercut. I'm sure you guys know what an undercut is, yeah? And usually I had Brill Cream or gel in it, and it looked a bit better. But that day, my mother made me look like a mushroom, or a monk, some say as well. Friar Tuck. And yeah, it was... I just put it up to just show people, I did once upon a time have hair. Any news on Sanchez? I spoke about him already, Isa. The thing about Renato Sanches is twofold. One, I didn't realise that Bayern Munich had a buyback clause, which is interesting. And two, the hints that he's dropping on Instagram is kind of like, yeah, I mean, there was one, it was João Felix actually, that said come to Atleti underneath, I think I'm remembering that correctly now. And we do know that they're going to sign Rodrigo de Paul, Atletico de Madrid, and that could free up Saul Niguez to be potentially sold on. Now, Saul Niguez has a 150 million euro buyout clause, but everybody knows nobody's going to pay that for Saul Niguez. But what I didn't realise is that he has an impeccable injury record. I didn't realise that he's missed only... I think it's 18 games his entire career. 26 years of age. But what always makes me wonder in these things is, so he's an Atletico Madrid player. Everybody will agree he's a good footballer. very good at breaking up play, lots of stuff. The talk is that 40 million euro is a number that could get Atletico interested. But then my big question is, why do they want to sell? Why would they want to sell a player who isn't injury prone, has been a big part of their success, is a very good, tidy footballer, for 40 million euro when you've got a buyout clause? Something just doesn't add up in that scenario for me, and I don't know what it is. But it is interesting to hear that number. Like 40 million euro for Saul Niguez. As much as he wouldn't be my first choice to come into midfield, 26 years of age, I think, experienced, but it just doesn't add up for me. Why? Look, the buyout clauses, they're always optimistic, you know what I mean? But yeah, why would they want to get rid of him? This is what I don't understand. Maybe somebody who watches more and knows a little bit more about it, Letty, can fill me in. Maybe he had a fallout with Cholo or something, I don't know. Cholo, nickname for Diego Simeone. Yeah, it is a weird one, that. Just asking, is it a thing in Spain where you need a buyout clause? There are some leagues, mate, where a buyout clause or a release clause has to be in the contract. I don't know what leagues they are. I think Spain could be one of them. I think you could be right. But there are definitely certain leagues where buyout clauses are in every contract. I think Spain is one of them. I think. Paul said, I think he's only a year on his contract. Now, you see, that would make a bit of sense, mate. If he's only got a year left on his deal, yeah, okay, then I can see why that would make sense, and that's a fair point. In which case, he becomes a very palatable option for a football club to go out and get for that type of price. Will Salah leave Liverpool? We'll get to that a little bit later on. What do I think about my club naming Vieira as manager? I guess you're a Crystal Palace fan. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I'd seen him a little bit at New York City. I know he moved to Nice then. People tell me he did quite well at Nice. I mean, I didn't watch too much of it, but it's an interesting appointment. And let's see, Patrick Vieira knows football. Nobody will deny that. One of the best midfielders of the Premier League generation. But, let's wait and see how he gets on. It'll be interesting to see how he sets Palace up moving forward. What are my thoughts on Love Island? I've never, ever, ever, ever watched so much as a minute of Love Island. And I know I'm very much in the minority there, but I've never watched any of it, to be honest with you. I have nothing against the show, I just never watched it. I've already done Renato Sanches, Rashana. I'll go back over towards the end. It is a law in Spain, said Brian. There you go. So I did think I'd read somewhere before, Brian, alright, that it has to be in players' contracts. Tielemans or Renato Sanches, says Vernon. To me, man, Yuri Tielemans over Renato Sanches, definitely. I would have thought, the reason I kept poo-pooing all over the idea of Yuri Tielemans is because, to me, I thought the number would be about 70 or 80 million. I honestly thought that's what Leicester would ask for. But if the price point is, as has been mentioned, at around £55 million, then I would say get it done. Because 24, only getting better. Even showed in that Belgian team that he was definitely good enough to be at that level, surrounded by some of those good players that Belgium have. So yeah, I mean, if that is the number, and again, it's all kind of media guesswork and stuff, then do it. Brian reckons Saul to Bayern could be an interesting shout there. Otavio's agent, yes, let me get to that. I did say I've got stuff on Otavio to you guys. Where's the Otavio stuff? Where is the Otavio stuff? So, Otavio's agent has been speaking, and he's opened up about the fact that his player has been linked with a move away from Porto. Obviously, he's been linked to Liverpool. We do know that Porto want to sign Marco Grujic, but here's where it gets a bit interesting. So, Wolves aren't taking up their, I think it's a €20 million option to buy Vitna, who they had on loan from Porto. So Porto do need some money. And, I think it was Oliveira they were looking to move on to maybe fund the Grujic deal. And we do know that the release clause for Otavio racked up from like €40 million up to €58 million, something like that. But his agent said if the deal's right for the player and Porto are happy with it, then the player could move. I don't know if he is talking about Liverpool or if he's talking in more general terms, but I haven't really seen much denial of interest from the English side in Otavio from Liverpool. I mean, we've often seen people come out and say, we don't believe there's any interest in player X and Y, but this time I haven't seen much of it. So it is one of those that it could suit both parties if Jurgen Klopp wants him. Easy to make a deal if they want Grujic and we want Otavio. I could see why and how it could happen. So yeah, keep an eye on that one. And I guess we didn't have to wait for the release clause if Porto are willing to be a bit more flexible on the price if it gets them a player that they want as well. I was just talking about the Saul links, and it's a Spanish article that suggests that Liverpool see him as a Genie replacement. They say that he's valued at around 70 million euro, but another report said that they're willing to negotiate from, and I'd seen a fee even lower than that in another place that said around 40 could get him. So let's wait and see. Matthew Park said Maddison to Arsenal, here we go. I genuinely would be baffled if that happened, mate. I mean, think about it realistically. You're James Maddison right now. You're at a club that is doing well, heading in the right direction. Good young footballers, good manager. Just missed out on Champions League football again. Why go to Arsenal? Honestly, it's not an upgrade from Leicester. I don't mean to be dismissive of Arsenal, who are obviously a storied club with good history. But right now, Leicester City are a better football club than Arsenal. So unless Brendan Rodgers wants rid of James Maddison, then I don't see how there would be any truth to that in any way, shape or form. But you look, stranger things have happened, fella. It's football, you never know. Neil Jones says Otavio isn't a target this summer. Neil Jones works with Goal now, if I'm right. I know he used to work with the Echo. Now I think he works with Goal. Here's the thing, though. Let me just say this to you, mate. I don't know Neil Jones from Adam. I won't speak ill of the fella because it's not what I do. But everybody seems to know who we don't want, but nobody seems to know who we do want. So just take everything with a pinch of salt. That's all I'm saying. I don't know Neil Jones. I've read some of his work before. Seems like a decent journalist. I don't want to speak bad of the lad. As I said, never had any experience with him. But you know, there's a lot of we're not interested in. But if you know that much, then why don't you know who we are interested in? Or maybe the club's just telling people we're not interested in players, and then boom, it'll be done. So everything at this moment in time is guesswork. I like this from Tivnik. Says Maddison to Arsenal, Keita to Leicester, Tielemans to Liverpool. Yeah, I like that merry-go-round there, mate. We can make that work. Ruben Neves, good fit for Liverpool. I don't think so. If we wanted him, again, with the background with Pep Linders having coached them, I think it would be an easy deal to set up. He is apparently somebody who Wolves are willing to move on this summer as well. And I wonder if we'll see a link up again there with himself and Nuno at Spurs. So I don't see him coming to Liverpool, but maybe Spurs and Nuno could take a punt. And I tell you one man who is counting his lucky stars that Nuno is back managing Spurs, and that's Doherty, because Mourinho wasn't really getting the best out of him, was he? And now that Nuno's there, he's probably counting his lucky stars again. Craig, thoughts on Varane to United? I think there's a very strong possibility it'll happen. Real Madrid are in a bit of a financial mess right now, and United could capitalise on that to go and get Varane in. And yeah, I mean, again, speaking to Mark about it, he seems quietly well, he's never quiet about that, is he? He seems confident about it. So I'll just wait and see what happens. I mean, thankfully, from our club, from Liverpool's point of view, we're pretty alright at centre back. Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez, Ibrahima Konate there, Joel Matip, and then we've got some good young players coming through as well. So yeah, I mean, thankfully for us, it's not a headache we have anymore. Harvey Barnes would definitely have to be one for the longer term, I think, because had an injury, kept him out for a good while. Definitely somebody I'd love at Liverpool. I mean, geez, I seem to be naming a lot of Leicester players here and saying I'd love them because Leicester's recruitment has been top notch. Yeah, but Harvey Barnes definitely would be somebody I could see in Kloppo's system, but not going to happen this summer. In fact, I'd be absolutely astonished. Now, I know everybody wants me to talk about Jeremy Doku, but the truth is I don't know anything new about Jeremy Doku. I haven't seen anything new other than more of us getting to realise how good a talent he is and seeing why the club wanted him all those years ago. I think it was 3 years ago that they tried to sign him. So, Jeremy Doku looks like an absolute super talent, and I would be very, very, very happy if Liverpool signed him. Pedro Neto, there's definitely a tracking of Pedro Neto going on from Liverpool. He's definitely somebody who, again, I think it was a good piece written by Andrew Beasley, who is based tuned to Red on Twitter. Excellent football guy, really good with statistics, has worked at the Tompkins Times, knows his stuff. He thinks that Neto would be a good option again, but looking a year down the line. And to me, if I'm looking a year down the line, I'm looking a year down the line for one name and one name only. And it rhymes with Schmood Schmellingham, because, Hendo's doing a good job there, isn't he? And am I not just inventing this, or is he almost saying to Liverpool, come and get me? I'm almost seeing the googly eyes at Liverpool, the little wink and a nod there to say, I want to play at Anfield. I mean, everything's just pointing to it. United fans knew that Sancho was their boy. They looked at it and they thought, he's a United player. And eventually it came to fruition. I look at Jude Bellingham and go, get him. He's a Liverpool player. He is a potential Stevie G. He spoke about Steven Gerrard being the only player he swapped shirts with. Hendo's going out of his way to make sure that he's comfortable in the England squad. He very much celebrated Hendo's goal for England. And Bellingham, please. I mean, please, and thank you very much, and thank you, and please again. Just get him. I don't care. Don't care who you have to sell, what it has to cost. Get him. Because Jude Bellingham, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, potential like Jeremy Doku type player, Caoimhín Kelleher, Conor Bradley. I mean, the future there looks bright. If you have that array of young talent mixed in with the experience that we have in the spine of our squad, it's get the tissues time if that happens, I won't lie. And I think it could happen. I genuinely think it could happen. You just get that feeling. Just get a feeling that there could be something to that. Now, I don't think for 1 minute that Borussia Dortmund will sell him this summer. Not for 1 minute. I think with them losing Sancho, they have to fight in their hands to keep Haaland. And, they're looking like they want Daniel Malin, and they could lose Julian Brandt, who they deem surplus to requirements, apparently. So I think it would be a next summer thing. But if ever Herr Klopp needed to open up his old book of contacts for Dortmund, this is the time to do it. Make the call, Jurgen. Make the call. Just don't bring him to Blackpool, mate. That place has been sussed. Maybe bring him to Thorpe Park or something instead. But yeah, please. I mean, please. Look, we all knew Mbappe was maybe pie in the sky stuff, but Bellingham seems very realistic. I mean, very realistic. United made a play for him last minute when he was going from Birmingham, but from what I've been told, he has a very big soft spot for Liverpool. Now, look, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but do you know what I mean? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Ha ha ha. Jude. Hey, Jude. Oh, can you just imagine that belting out from the cop? Calvin Phillips to step in after Hendo's career. He would be a good replacement. I mean, I said this a few times, and a couple of other Liverpool fans have mentioned it as well. You could see Calvin Phillips doing a Hendo job. I do like the look of Calvin. Now, El Capitan probably has 2 or 3 good years left in him, so yeah, maybe. What have we got? Did you see the Hillsborough Memorial tree in Phoenix Park was destroyed? No, it didn't, but shame on whoever did that, if that is the case, mate. I mean, there are some just low lifes around, aren't there? I mean, imagine doing that. Like, ugh. Nicholas said, get Saul in now and Thiago will destroy in midfield. It would be a tasty little addition, Saul at that price. I don't believe it, though. I don't think... When I say I don't believe it, it's just a gut feeling thing. It just doesn't seem like something we will do. Tielemans... I'm not letting myself believe, but I want to. Doku, look, we know we like Doku. There's no secret there. We've liked him for ages. The only difference now is that Ron know that they can get very good money for him because this Euros showed up in particular to the wider audience what a player Jeremy Doku was. So, yeah. Would I take Bamford? No, but I would take Ollie Watkins. Bamford just wouldn't fit our system. And again, Leeds fans could disagree with me here, but for me, Bamford is a forward who will score one in every 3 or 4 chances. He seems like a lovely lad. I love his interviews. He comes across very well, but I'd much rather go for Ollie Watkins than Patrick Bamford. Because Watkins, I could see Watkins becoming another Bobby Firmino, but with more goals to his game, perhaps. Would FSG spend big for Bellingham? Well, you know what the answer is going to be here, Andrew, me old mate, don't you? If we are to get Bellingham, somebody's going to have to be shown the exit door. That's almost a given. Now, who that would be a year down the line will depend perhaps on whose contract isn't renegotiated and extended. So, one thing surprised me actually. I was looking into the Coutinho situation at Barcelona, who are again another club that are very much like, I mean, they've broken the wage structure. I think Tabas, the president of La Liga, spoke about this. There's, issues at Barca now. Messi, they're going to agree the new deal, they're going to sign the new deal, but they have to clear a load of money off the wage books. Now, am I wrong in saying that when we sold Felipe Coutinho to Barcelona, there was an article or there was something put out there that said either he took a cut in wages or he contributed almost 10 million himself towards the deal? Because I read the article today that said he earns 250 grand a week sterling at Barcelona, which he certainly wasn't earning at Liverpool. So either somebody's telling Porky somewhere along the line, or it was just media spin to try and appease fans and sell to Barcelona fans how much he wanted that move. But I was intrigued to find out that he was on that much at Barca, because we definitely weren't giving him 250 grand a week. What do I think about Patrick Vieira getting the Crystal Palace job? Joel, I just somebody already asked me that a few minutes ago, mate. It's an interesting one. It's certainly a massive shake up from an older manager in Roy Hodgson to a much younger, fairly experienced fella, in fairness, with jobs he's had at Nice and New York City FC. And I honestly don't know what to make of it. I'll be interested to see how he gets on. I mean, the man knows football, that's for sure. Would I rather have Frankie de Jong or Valverde? De Jong for me, mate. Actually, you were speaking about that. That got something else in my head. What was it about? There was something that I seen today. It might come to me in a minute. It was something around Barcelona and players moving on. Yeah, might come to me in a minute, sorry. Camavinga, to me, my gut feeling on Camavinga is he'll end up at Paris Saint-Germain. Now, it looks like PSG could be paving the way for Mbappe to go, and hear me out. So, Gianluigi, this is from Here We Go man himself, Fabrizio Romano. Gianluigi Donnarumma, going to be signed, sealed and delivered. Hakimi, going to be signed, sealed and delivered. And then there was another signing that he was saying is very close as well, on top of obviously Genie signing. So, to me that sounds like maybe they're paving the way for somebody to move. Camavinga, though, for me, Addison, I think will end up at PSG. Just my gut on it. Pellegrini, I think, will sign a new deal at Roma, from what I've read. Jamaldinho, obviously, Mourinho arrived in Rome, I think it was yesterday. And I think he'll sign a new deal. Sell Mane next year, play Jota full time, and then get Bellingham. I would... Oh God, I can't even believe I'm uttering these words because I love the man so much. If we're looking a year down the line and everybody's still there, so we've got the 4 boys up front, I would go as far... Oh God, I'm almost hating myself to say these words, but if we were talking about selling one of them, it would be Firmino for me rather than Sadio. which pains me to say because I love the man and I'd happily see him retire at Liverpool. But if we had to lose one of Salah, Mane, Firmino, to me, Firmino would make more sense. Just my opinion, and an opinion I hate myself for having to give because I love the lad so much. I would keep Shaqiri. I wouldn't. He's just never able to get... It was Ramos, you're right, Dean. Top man. And Zion and Harry and loads of other people. Yeah, it was Ramos. You're right. Spot on. VXZ, thank you for the super sticker, dude. Very kind of you indeed. What else was there? There was something else there I was just about to get to. Oh, yeah. Would I keep Shaqiri? No. Because he just can't stay fit. It's always a little muscle knocker strain, and again, he's not getting any younger, so he's going to want game time, and his game time at Liverpool, even if he's fully fit, will be limited. So I would say if the move to Lazio is true, if they are interested, probably best for everybody concerned. Definitely worth a punt when we signed him because of the relegation clause from Stoke, and I've got no ill feeling towards Shaqiri whatsoever, but I definitely think if we need to free up money, he would be one of the players I would say sell to free up some money. Would I take Paqueta from Lyon? I'm always nervous about talking about doing business with Lyon because Jean-Michel Aulas, as we know, can be rather difficult to deal with. And after the Nabil Fekir stuff, I don't know if we'll be knocking on Lyon's door anytime soon for a player. And if we were, you know, I think we'd all like it to be Houssem Aouar, perhaps. Salah is in France on holiday, maybe talks with PSG. Well, that would be tapping up of the highest order, wouldn't it? And I'm sure Remy Abbas would probably be having those talks, whereas Salah looks like he's chilling out on a hammock with an almighty six-pack. My God, that lad is ripped. I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm sure you've all seen the picture I'm talking about. Mo looking chilled and Mo looking like he's carved out of stone, basically. Just looking like an absolute prime human specimen. But yeah, I hope to God that, you know, we don't lose Mo. I really, really do. Damsgaard, again, Barry, somebody who I didn't really know too much about going into the Euros, but certainly been very impressive. Do you know who's worth a punt, though? Dolberg. Kasper Dolberg would be worth a punt for somebody because, you know, everybody knew about the kid when he was at Ajax. He was part of the Ajax team that made that run to the semis and then made a move to Nice, which surprised me, I've got to be honest, but I think there's a player in there. I don't know how much he'd cost, and I'm not saying he's necessarily a good fit for Liverpool, but if you're a Norwich, if you're a Leeds United perhaps, or somebody like that, I think he'd do worse than take a punt on the fella. He looks like a good player to me. Love you too, Taya. Thank you very much for the kind words. As you can see, I'm a bit happier today. I did have a Skype with my psychologist today. So yeah, that went well. Put things into perspective again, and yeah, sometimes I'll just have these bad days. It is what it is. But today's a better one. Craig, would I take any Danish players? Dolberg at Liverpool, maybe worth a punt, but I'm not sure. Who else have we got? Damsgaard, who a lot of people are talking about, looks good. Who's the guy? I'm trying to think of somebody here. There's somebody. I'm going through the positions now. Let me just look at the Danish lineup. That'll make this easier, rather than trying to use me noggin, which, as we all know, is not the greatest of memories in the old Craig brain. But let's have a little look-see poo here. Right, when did they last play? Sorry. Right, let's have a look through the Danish team lineups. Vestergaard I wouldn't have minded as a centre-back, to be honest. Christensen, obviously a good player at Chelsea. Kasper Schmeichel's a fine goalkeeper. But I'm not really seeing anybody there that I would think would come in and displace anybody in our squad. And I don't know enough about Damsgaard to give an honest opinion. Poulsen, I don't think he's good enough. But as a collective group together, though, that Danish team is top-notch. Milner, 220k. He's not on 220k. Salah's our highest paid player. I think Milner's on about 140 or 160, if my memory's right. Thoughts on Frank Kessie? Yeah, kind of flatters to deceive at times for me. Sometimes I watch Kessie and I think, oh my god, what a player. And then other times I watch him and I go, oh, not really a fan. Did I see the crazy wages Sancho's on at United? Depending on who you believe, it's either 250 grand or 350 grand. But either way, not a wage Liverpool were going to pay. You know, that would make him, even at the lower end of that, Liverpool's highest paid player. So you can see why he went. Dusan Vlahovic, gone really quiet around him. There was links at the start of the window to the Fiorentina attacker. But he strikes me as a player that will stay in Italy. He just strikes me as one of those players that will move around Italian clubs. Would I take Paqueta? I've already done that one. Let me just go back through the comments. Sorry, I had to scroll back up because I did miss a super chat earlier on. Do me a favour, by the way, ladies and gents. If you're new to the channel, please do take a second and do two things. One, hit the subscribe button, and two, drop a like on the video. I think I'm going to be back on That's Football for the Spain-Italy semi-final. I will, of course, be here on Anfield Agenda for the England-Denmark semi-final. And don't forget about Boyle Sports. Great. I'm not finishing up, by the way, so don't be running off. I'm staying here. I'm in a good mood tonight, so strap yourselves in. We could be here a while, ladies and gentlemen. If you need to head off, fair enough. Just leave the computer running in the background so we can get the watching time. But yeah, I mean, everybody okay with me hanging on for another 15, 20, 30? Because I'm feeling old school. I'm feeling like it's an old school stream tonight, and let's get into it. You know, remember the good old OG days of Anfield Agenda? We were here till like 3.5 hours. It won't be that long, but I feel like we've got a bit longer in us. That's what she said. Well, not if it was me. She didn't, let's be honest. What have we got? What was I answering there? I've gone around full fucking circle in my own head. Oh yes, don't forget, if you are going to have a little punt around the England game, Boyle Sports do have their fantastic €10, £10 no lose offer on any market on the England game. Stick a tenner on it. If it doesn't come up, it'll be refunded to your Boyle Sports account as a tenner free bet. That offer is open to UK and Irish residents, age 18 plus. And the most important words I'm going to say here, and I mean them sincerely, is always, always, always gamble responsibly. Don't bet when you're angry. Never bet more than you can afford to lose. And that's why the tenner free bet offer is good to me. It's a tenner, and you know, that's the type of money I think that's fair. I mean, I've won a few quid lately. I've been sticking fiver on Maguire, 20-1 to score a header, and they're very satisfying when they come up, those little 2, 3 quid, 5 quid bets. You didn't read my super chat? I think I did. 50 cent? I did. I said, would you take any Danish players? I did go up and read it, mate. Sorry. Yeah, I definitely did, and thank you for sending it, dude. Top man. What have we got? Anything new about Nico? No. I would expect him to move on. I see we've already lost 30 viewers, so I gather that means piss off, Baldy, we're bored of you. I think Nico will get a move. I think 10 million is the price tag that Liverpool would move him on for. And you know, the more I read up about Conor Bradley and his background, and there was a brilliant piece written by Caoimhe O'Neill about Conor Bradley on the Athletic. If you're lucky enough to have a subscription, great piece. And if you don't, I think they have some great offers, by the way. And look, I'm not promoting the Athletic here, as in the fact that I've no reason to, other than I think it's a fine outlet, and I do enjoy a lot of the boxing stuff on there. And Caoimhe O'Neill's piece on Conor Bradley was a very good read. Have you seen Sad? I don't know who that is, Liam Cox. So please do feel free to fill me in, mate. Okay. Would I take Martin Braithwaite? No, I wouldn't. I mean, I still can't believe the man's at Barcelona. I'm sure he still can't believe he's at Barcelona, but no, I wouldn't. I don't fancy Tielemans, looks very average. I used to think the same, Green Frog Gaming, but I will happily say that I was very wrong on Yuri Tielemans. If Nico goes, go for Lamptey. The plan is, if Nico goes, we go for nobody, apparently, Damien. The plan seems to be we look at Conor Bradley and Joe Gomez. Tariq Lamptey is a fine fullback. He left Chelsea because of the competition that was ahead of him, and had an injury this season that did limit his time at Brighton. But a fine young fullback, definitely. Have I seen Berea contact? I have seen it, but I've also seen it dismissed from the Inter side to say that they want to keep Nicola Barella. Sorry, Barella. Sorry, mate. I made the mistake again, didn't I? Barella. I'd love him. I said it before the tournament. He's a huge talent. Had a cracking season at Inter. And, Barella. I nearly said Berea again. Barella, Tielemans, Renato Sanches, Bellingham. Any of those type of players with me and I'm sound. Would I rather Maddison or Tielemans? 120 billion % Tielemans, because again, these are just things I've read and I do not know James Maddison, but the word diva gets mentioned a bit and I don't know him. It could be complete horseshit because we heard the same about Danny Sturridge, and Sturridge was one of the nicest lads you'll ever come across. Was always fun and great at the club, so I don't know if it's true or not, but one thing we know is that Jurgen Klopp researches the backgrounds and the mentality, the psyche, everything around any potential signing. So for me, Yuri Tielemans. Craig rocking the Toronto FC jersey. You know me, mate. I'm a chav. I have a big collection of football jerseys. I've got loads of different ones from the MLS. I've got a Columbus Crew. I've got a Kansas City. I've got this. I had an Orlando one. I know it's not MLS, but I've a Boca Juniors one. I just love football shirts. The only thing I won't do is wear other Premier League shirts. I have a Barcelona shirt that I'm afraid to wear on the stream in case I get grief. The black and gold one from last season. It's one of my favourite shirts, but I never wear it on the stream because I'm always afraid I'm going to get grief. Yeah, I'm not going to read your comment out about Barlow, mate, from Coronation Street. So, the first 3 times you put it in, it wasn't funny, and it won't be funny the next few times. So, Any more in John McGinn? There was something yesterday that said that Liverpool are interested in McGinn and in Ollie Watkins. Now, I'm torn on McGinn because he's a decent footballer, but if the price mentioned was 50 million quid, get Tielemans. Far better buy in my opinion. And look, I would absolutely have Ollie Watkins as well. I think he could do a job for Liverpool. I like the cut of his jib, as they say. But again, this is I'm hoping we get something more concrete in the coming days. I really do, because we're all getting a little bit frustrated at the minute, aren't we? And we're all trying to just find that little one sentence in an article that gives us a little bit of a ray of hope. What I will say is, I'm very confident we will bring in at least 2 quality players on top of Canade this summer. We will have to move a few players on. That process has started with Liam Miller and Camille Grabara moving on. Yes, relatively small money, but every little bit helps. Shaqiri could move on. Wilson potentially could move on. Nico Williams could move on. So, if you add all of them up, maybe Origi, you're kind of getting one player there for about 25-30 million. Hands off our players. Well, it's R spelled O-U-R there, guys. It's not R as in A-R-E, but I gather you're probably a Leicester fan. I don't know. If you are a Leicester fan, mate, then, good times ahead for you lads by the looks of it. Very good squad being assembled there. Or maybe you're a Villa fan. It could be a Villa fan as well. What else we got? Mbappe or Bellingham? You're a bold man, Samuel. You're a bold man asking me that question. Mbappe or Bellingham? Mbappe or Bellingham? And Bellingham. Bellingham, because it's far more realistic. Kingsley Coman. So, Kingsley Coman, apparently Bayern Munich are going to ask for €90 million for anyone that wants Kingsley Coman. The links to Liverpool seem to be that his father wants the guy to have a move to England. So, €90 million, it ain't going to happen. 50 million quid, possibly, but his injury record apparently isn't great, which isn't unusual for a player that relies on explosive pace as much as Kingsley Coman does. Fine footballer, no doubt about that, but I don't see it happening, particularly if Bayern really dig their heels in and want €90 million from him. Craig to Liverpool, here we go. YouTube legend under the name Anfield Agenda has officially signed for only 30 million. Well, there might be a here we go involving me in the next 2 to 3 weeks, but, watch this space. It's also about freeing up numbers in the squad, not just the money. Spot on. That's a very fair comment. Northern Hadiz, absolutely spot on, mate. There are certain things we have to do, like, as you said, free up squad places and stuff like that. So, yeah, absolutely belter of a comment. Too expensive for 90 million, said Freddie Francis, which I would agree with. Wasn't Conor Bradley the ball boy for the Origi goal in the Barca game? Couldn't tell you. Honestly, couldn't tell you. But now that I think about it, they don't look a million miles apart. Again, that piece from Caoimhe O'Neill was excellent. It spoke about how, like all things, a little bit of luck was involved in his journey and a hell of a lot of talent, of course. But Conor Bradley's been somebody that's always played above his age group all the way through. One of the youngest players to ever be capped by Northern Ireland. I think he beat George Best to that by, well, he's not the youngest, but I think 4th or 5th youngest. Beat George Best by a few days on that one. And, at first I was worried about it, but then I started to think, okay, we have a very good academy, we've got a very good set of coaches, and they obviously know a lot more about Conor Bradley than me. So if they believe in the lad and they think he can make the step up to be the backup to Trent, why doubt him? Give him a bash and see how we get on. Anything around Koulibaly to anywhere? Seems all quiet there. No. No. Of all the players this summer, somebody who's usually mentioned 100 million times, not a damn thing on Koulibaly that I've seen. Nothing. Renato Sanches getting on a private jet to somewhere. I'd imagine it's probably his holidays, mate, if I'm being honest. But you are right. And there was, underneath that post, there was something from João Felix to say, come to Atletico. And I think there was a winky face or googly eyes emoji then from Renato Sanches. But he could be on his holidays, or he could be off somewhere for a chat. You never know. Super chat from Dickie Bow said, hi Craig, hope all is well. Was just wondering, do Anfield have face scanners for season ticket owners? Not when I've been. No. No, they do have people often going around outside that can scan your ticket to tell you what turnstile to go to and stuff like that. And unless the technology has changed since I've last been there, not that I'm aware of. As I said, and I've used other people's season tickets before. I think a lot of other people have. Even some of the travel companies do it when they sell the tickets, or our supporters clubs, I should say. But not when I was there anyway. Certainly not the case. They do have scanners that will scan it and can show up whose season ticket it is. But no, not that I'm aware of. But maybe somebody who's been far more regularly than me can give you that. Play Musialowski in pre-season, said Kiefer. I'm sure he'll get a run out in pre-season, mate. Very highly thought of, the Polish attacker brought in last year. Again, you don't want to put too much pressure on a kid too soon. And also we've got Glatzel, who's worked his way back from some injuries. So yeah, another good show. Bissouma or Rafinha? Bissouma, look, there is a strong link there with Bissouma and has been there since the window started. Rafinha, though, apparently we don't have any interest in. That's, again, a couple of journals put that out over the recent few days, that apparently Liverpool have absolutely no interest in Rafinha. Craig, I love what you're doing. I'm really glad you didn't quit. Keep it up. So am I. I'm very glad I didn't quit. But I only didn't quit because of her upstairs. I was going to say her indoors. The legend, the wife, the 40-year-old, and you guys. So, yeah, thank you. Again, I feel like I say thank you a lot, but then I also feel like I don't say it enough. Keeper loan Harvey Elliott. Keep. The loan went quite well. Tony Mowbray gave a glowing report of him during his time there with Blackburn. And I would say, yeah, keep the lad. Why not? 18 years of age. We've seen what Doku can do. Give him a go. Millie will go to Leeds or Villa, I reckon. I don't think James Milner will go anywhere this season. I mean, you got to remember how much Jurgen Klopp absolutely loves James Milner. Loves having him in and around the club. We need that experience. Great player to help on and off the pitch. And look, whatever James Milner does, the man can do no wrong in our eyes. He is an absolute top model professional, smashes pre-season every year, seems to be like the Benjamin Button of football, that he just never stops with the fitness, lives the footballer's life completely, just a model professional. So whatever Jimmy Milner does or doesn't do, I love Jimmy Milner. Everybody should love Jimmy Milner. Is VVD back? Very, 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 very close. I mean, he's defo stepping up the rehab. You've seen the videos, you've seen the bits and pieces he's putting out on socials. I think we're gonna have him back for barring maybe a little setback or a strain, a niggle or a knock. It's looking good. Sign Doku, play Sancho in the 10, or Sancho again. The United fans have the bleeding Sancho thing rammed into me head. Play Sadio in the number 10 role. Could do. I mean, you know what I think, Crick? I want to play Mohamed Salah through the centre as a striker. So if you brought Doku in, put Sadio back to his preferred position on the right, give Doku a little run on the left, then you've got Jota or Bobby there as well, can play in the hole in behind if needs be. Will James Milner become a coach at Liverpool, do you think? I don't know, but I hope so. Because, I mean, what the knowledge that man has to share in the game, if he ever does go on to be a coach, it would be a lucky group of players that get the man as their coach, because, he's got a lot to give. Craig, I'm going to Tato Park tomorrow, can't wait. Enjoy it, Keno, get on that wooden roller coaster, mate, it's class. And have some fun. It's a good place, and I hope you have a good day, mate. Official club LFC announcement next week. Yeah, you see, this is what gets me, Limo. I want to believe that. We all want to believe it, but is it going to be we signed Johnny 15-year-old, or is it going to be an actual announcement? So, we can all put out vague stuff like that. So I don't know if it's true or not. We all hope it's a big announcement. We'd be very happy if it was. But, why not be more specific? You either know something or you don't. Teasing people with stuff means if you happen to get it right, then look at me, I'm great. I called this last week. I could do that every week of the transfer window. But I just be honest and say I don't know anything. Do I think Virgil will be back for Norwich? Again, a lot will depend on how he gets on in pre-season, how many minutes he gets. But we got Canade in as well now, so it's all good. It's all gravy. Do I think Milner will be first Ballon d'Or, first ballot Premier League Hall of Famer? Sorry, what did I read that as Ballon d'Or, D-man? Sorry. Do I think Milner will be first ballot Hall of Famer? It's a very good question, that, because solid since he was 16 years of age in the Premier League. Won everything there is to win in the game. Won the European Cup and the Premier League at Liverpool. Won the Super Cup at Liverpool, the Club World Cup. Won a load of stuff at Manchester City. Did really well coming through at Leeds. Villa. Wasn't he at Villa at some point as well? He should be in the Hall of Fame, if nothing else, for just longevity and consistency right throughout his career. So, mightn't be one that would roll off your tongue when you're listing off the all-time greats, but for somebody who has contributed to the Premier League era, James Milner should be a very good show. Do you think we'll see a surprise like Jota? Yes, I do, because none of us know if the names that have been bandied around are just guesswork or if there's anything to it. So Fabinho, none of us knew. Jota, none of us knew. I love that type of stuff. Thoughts on Kabak leaving? So I think Leverkusen are the latest club to be linked with Ozan Kabak. I still think we made a mistake by not signing him. I think we could have gotten him for a lot less than the 18 million that was in the clause, because Schalke are in a bit of a mess financially and can't afford his wages and stuff. He was linked with Leicester as well at one point. But I think we could have probably gotten him for 10 million, 8 million. And if you're selling Nat Phillips, to me, I would have said, yeah. He seemed like a fella that really wanted to play at Liverpool. Any new news on a Salah deal? No, unfortunately, absolutely diddly squat. He's off having a well-deserved holiday, looking magnificent over in France, and yeah, I mean, I can but hope, like the rest of us, that something gets sorted. What's the news on Renato Sanches? I've heard it's almost done. I don't think it is almost done, mate. I hope I'm wrong, because I'd have him. Not in that sense, in a footballing sense. So look, what we know about Renato Sanches is this. He's on a private jet. I'm sure he's landed at this point. He probably will get a move away. But the interesting thing that came to my attention today was that Bayern Munich have a buyback option if they want to buy him from Lille. So first and foremost, I suppose it'll have to be decided upon if Bayern want to take up that clause. If they don't, Atletico has been mentioned as a possible destination. Although they are signing Rodrigo de Paul. Liverpool have of course been mentioned, and I don't think there will be any shortage of offers for the lad. So keep an eye on it, is all I'm saying. Nat Phillips is better. I don't know whether he is or he isn't, mate, because we've seen very little of Ozan Kabak, and Nat Phillips certainly got better with every game. But what we know for certain is that Nat Phillips seems to be available, and we do have Ben Davies, of course, who still hasn't kicked the ball for Liverpool. What else have we got? Would I rather Klopp or Gerrard as manager? Klopp, obviously. I want Jurgen Klopp manage Liverpool for the next 15 years, and I'd be a very happy man. But if Jurgen Klopp does go in 2024, Stevie G does seem a very good candidate. He's won stuff at Rangers now. Ideally, I would have liked him to have had another job before Liverpool to test himself elsewhere. But, I mean, look, we all want Steven Gerrard to manage Liverpool someday, but we also want it to be because he's earned the right to manage Liverpool someday and not just because of nostalgia. You're not getting Yuri, my CDM partner, said Mr. Ndidi. I don't think we'll get him either, to be honest, mate. I mean, but I'd happily have him. Who's your dream genie replacement? Barella. I've done it again. Nicola Barella is my dream genie replacement. And yeah, him. But it won't happen. But that's the one for me. Craig, will you be on both Anfield Agenda and That's Football in the new season? I know I'll be on Anfield Agenda in the new season. I don't like talking about stuff that hasn't happened yet, but if we can sort out a few details, and we haven't even started talking about it yet because we're still all really busy, but there is a good chance that I'll be on That's Football next season on a regular basis. Because look, let's be honest, is there a better duo on YouTube than me and Goldbridge together? I don't think so. I think it's the dream team. Yeah, I'm being a little bit less humble than normal there, but I mean, it's certainly something that I've enjoyed doing throughout the Euros, and what it will mean is that Mundo Sporto will be rejigged into my channel, the Craig something channel. I'm not going to tell you the name of it yet because I don't want to ruin it, because Brian Morrissey knows the name of it though. That's all I'm saying to you. And I've got a couple of show ideas for the new Craig channel as well, which I think will be lots of fun. Lots and lots of fun. And it will be nothing to do with sport. It will be absolutely feck all to do with sport. It'll be just around me having a laugh and having some fun. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to getting stuck into that if that's the case. If it doesn't work out with That's Football, Mundo Sporto will carry on as normal. But I mean, I honestly think if myself and Goldbridge can sort it out, I just think it would be amazing. I mean, I think we'd have so much fun, and I don't think anybody could match us. I really don't. And look, call me arrogant if you want. I don't mind. I'm backing myself here for once. Connor will tell you. I told Connor from almost day one on the channel, I'll end up working with Goldbridge someday. And he said, ha 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 ha. And I said, don't laugh. It'll happen. And it wasn't because of Mark's numbers, it was because I could see the personality fit. I looked around and I thought, if ever there's somebody that I'll team up with to do something, he's the guy. We'll bounce off each other really well. I could see that our personality, because let's be honest, he's a big personality and he needs somebody who isn't afraid to have a pop back at him. And anyway, look, I'm waffling, but you know, we're going old school tonight, like I said. Can you do a music quiz on your new show? I can do what I want, mate. That's the beauty of it. It's I've already got 2 show ideas in mind. One with a really fun name, and loads of other bits and pieces that I want to do as well. So yeah, I'm looking at life's good at the minute. I had a downer yesterday. I had a bit of a bad one, but as always, I got a big warm virtual hug from everybody, which made me feel a lot better. And what will happen with Jack Gill? Jack Gill will still be on the podcast and stuff, and we'll see how things are with Jack. We like Jack a lot. We do. I think Jack has a lot of potential, and in an ideal world, Jack will be a big part of Anfield agenda moving forward, but let's just wait and see. We haven't really had a chance to chat too much over the Euros because, you know, he's a young lad out enjoying life at the minute, being busy, and look, we like Jack. Jack, how could you not? Jack's a lovable fella. Bounce off. I don't know what that means, Joanne. Looking forward to it, said Delwyn. Thank you. Go on, Craig. Sure, everyone needs a bit of arrogance. Love the channel, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very rarely arrogant. I mean, sometimes I like to give myself a bit of credit, but I think I'm alright, you know. I don't think I'm too bad at this malarkey. Jack Gill should do something about youth players. Oh, he's extremely knowledgeable on it, Mick. I mean, I'll say that, definitely. You know, he's far better than me when it comes to knowledge. Jack knows his stuff about the academy players. He really does. I love Jack on the stream, said Addison. So do I. I've great fun with Jack. I think Jack's a great laugh. I mean, I think me, him and Steve Bland on the Anfield Agenda podcast, I think it's a great trio. I love the 2 lads dearly. They're both brilliant. And yeah, I mean, look, I look at Jack almost as my protege. I think I can help Jack become what I think Jack can become, which is a damn fine presenter in his own right, because he's got all the tools. He's better looking than me for a start. He's definitely up for a bit of banter, and he's a lovable old scamp. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to be able to help guide Jack along, and he's a top lad, Jack. You won't ever hear anything else. What do you think we want him as part of our channel? We love Jack Gill. He's a good lad. What have we got? What centre back would you get rid of, if any? Nat Phillips. Sorry, I know that's not the vogue thing to say, but it's the realistic thing to say. Sepp Vandenberg will probably go back out on loan. I'm always worried about Joel Matip, but not because of his footballing ability, because, you know, when he's fit, fine centre back, loads of fine attributes, but, you know, you can't really be relying on him to get through an entire season. But look, with Canade, with Van Dijk, with Joe Gomez, who, as we know, has had a sketchy injury record as well, a lot of unfortunate long-term injuries for Joe. And congratulations, by the way, to him and his new wife. I've seen the wedding pictures. They both looked absolutely fabulous. I mean, Joe was rocking that white tux, wasn't he? Absolutely rocking it. And his wife looked absolutely radiant as well. So congrats to them. We've got Billy Comedio, another good young talented centre-back. I think we're all right in the centre-back position now. What have we got? What would you do with Reece Williams? Loan. Yeah, I think Reece could do it alone, because as promising as he is, there are certain things he needs to brush up on, and that's of course not unusual in any way. He's a young centre back. It's a very, there aren't many kids that come through 18, 19 years of age who are regular centre backs, especially in the Premier League. We've seen De Ligt break through with Ajax, went obviously to Juve, and has had a bit of a patchy time there, because it is a position that you can't afford to make mistakes in because it often leads to a goal, but it is a position that you need to learn from. So I'd say probably a loan for him would be the best option. When's your next Euro 2020 watch along? I will be doing the England-Denmark game here on Anfield Agenda, mate. So that will be the next Euro watch along on here. I think, although it's not being confirmed yet, I think I'm doing the Spain-Italy game with Mark over on That's Football. What else was there? What else we got? Would you play Canade over Gomez? It's impossible to know because, we haven't even seen a minute of him in pre-season. But either way, I think Virgil van Dijk has two excellent centre-back options there either side of him because Canade and Joe Gomez both have great attributes. So it's just good news for me. I think Canade was a genius signing. I really do. Thoughts on Haaland to Chelsea? Petrified, Keane, is probably the word. Look at the business that Chelsea have done. Do you know what I mean? They've went out there and they've signed Werner, who I still believe will come good, by the way. Kai Havertz, they've got Mason Mount, obviously, who's come through. Christian Pulisic. I think Thiago Silva was a genius signing for them to give them some stability at the back. They signed Ben Chilwell. And if you add Haaland into that list, it gets pretty goddamn scary if you're looking at Manchester City maybe getting Grealish and Kane. You see United with Sancho, possibly Varane. They need a midfielder as well. Oh, that's what I'd seen. Yeah, sorry. I remember earlier on to you I said I remembered something about a Spanish team and a player. So I'd seen a link that said that Real Madrid would be open to taking Donny van der Beek as an exchange or part exchange for Rafael Varane. Now, I know there's a few United fans watching right now, so you guys probably have more information on that than me, but that was the thing that I'd forgotten about that I thought of earlier on. What else have we got? Pogba to PSG, said David Newell. Yeah, Connor messaged me about that earlier on. Again, I don't know. I mean, one thing I've always consistently said was, if I'm a United fan, which by the grace of God I'm not, he pissed me off rightly. I mean, I would be fed up to the back teeth of hearing the is he staying, is he going scenario, because let's be really honest about it. Paul Pogba at France and Paul Pogba at Juventus and Paul Pogba at Manchester United are completely different, United haven't seen the Paul Pogba of Juventus and that he does with France. I don't know why that is. It's not my place to say if it's because of the system, the manager himself, I don't know. But if he was a Liverpool player, I would be fed up to the back teeth of hearing about him possibly leaving every single window. So, if I was a United fan, I would just say cut your ties and sell him and just get in other players because, yes, he is an absolutely exceptional footballer, but you guys haven't seen the best of him at United. I think even the most hardcore United fan would probably agree with me on that. Any word on Brewster? No. I put you may have seen Ian Brewster actually on with Alex Goldberg recently. Alex did message me asking could I put him in touch with Ian Brewster. I messaged Ian. He went on and he spoke about Reen coming through with Chelsea and stuff on there. I think Alex has a Patreon if you want to go and watch that one. But no, I've not heard anything on Reen Dara. Nothing at all on his future. Which is interesting because it really hasn't worked out so far at Sheffield United. And look, we all, I certainly still want Ryan to do well. In my opinion, Salah Prime is better than Hazard Prime. Shane, you're going to get me in trouble. This is one of those, if I speak, I will be in trouble moments. Let's just say I agree with you, fella. My argument to this is, and look, I'm not looking to offend anyone here, but can you imagine the absolute grief that Salah would be getting from opposition fans if he went 2 entire calendar years without scoring a goal? It's happened twice to Hazard. Imagine. That's all I'm saying. If I say anything else, I'll get in trouble. When's Mundo Sporto back? It may not ever be back, Jordan. It could well become my personal channel for Craig madness, let's just say. So please don't unsubscribe to it. I need you guys to stay subscribed to Mundo Sporto, because one, it could still be Mundo Sporto, but if I end up working with that football on a more regular basis, it doesn't make any sense to put myself against myself. So I will turn that into the new channel name, of which I'm not letting go of yet, because I don't know what's happening. As soon as I know what's happening, I'll let you guys know. I'm a United fan. I love watching you sometimes banter Mark. It's got to be done, doesn't it? That's part of the fun. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we can have a rivalry, but it be a respectful rivalry. Salah gets a bad rap. He absolutely does. Look, Eden Hazard's a fine footballer. I'm not saying he's shy. Absolutely not. I said this before. That display he put in at Anfield for Chelsea, one of the best performances I've seen from an away player at Anfield. And when Eden Hazard is firing on all cylinders, whew, exceptional. So I'm not knocking Hazard. I just, like you've suggested, I just think that Salah just doesn't get the credit he deserves. What's happening with Abdul Fatawu? So James Pearce did a little piece on this where he said that he's signed for Sporting Lisbon, and it's not a case of he's signing for Sporting Lisbon, wink wink, nudge nudge, Liverpool will sign him in a couple of years' time. He said that there's no agreement in place, because what we had heard was Liverpool would buy him and then he would go for an indefinite loan period at Sporting Lisbon, and then when he gets work permit sorted out and all that stuff, plays enough games, he'll come back to Liverpool. James Pearce suggests that he's just gone to Sporting Lisbon and that's the end of the conversation. So, you know, all I can do is take Mr. Pearce at his word, and, you know, I'm somebody who, you know, I'm a big James Pearce fan. I mean, you couldn't meet a nicer journalist, always very good to fan channels, you know, always friendly, open and honest, and I will never say a bad word about James Pearce. I think he's a great lad. Will Mark be your boss? Probably, to be honest. I mean, he wouldn't have nothing to do with Anfield agenda, but if I'm on That's Football, you know, it's their platform. So that's one of the, you know, there's so many unknowns that we haven't even spoken about yet. So, but yeah, I suppose in the grand scheme of things, yes, he would be on that, yeah. But don't let me think about that. I don't like hearing the word boss, unless your boss, Craig, is the sentence. But yeah, look, probably. God, no, don't you? I won't act like he's my boss, put it that way. That's one thing I can promise you, is that it won't stop me from absolutely going, you know, hammer and tongs at him, like, and vice versa. Why are you always doing live nighttime? I've always done it, mate. Usually it's because of family matters, so if Jack comes on board more next season, we'll probably get Jack to do daytime stuff. But firstly, my sleeping patterns are absolutely crazy, Nate. I sleep like 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And also, you know, I need time with my family. So, you know, my young lad and all usually goes to bed around 9-10 o'clock. So that's when I stream. It just fits in with our family lifestyle. So, yeah, that's why, mate. It's, you know, it's called the Late Night Agenda as well, the show. Wouldn't it be more fitting to call it partners? I don't call it anything, to be honest with you. I mean, there's nothing to call it yet because we haven't even spoken about the details of anything. But whatever, I'm fine with it either way. For me, it's about vibes. It's about having fun, enjoying what I'm doing, and I've been made feel very, very welcome by the audience and by those involved with That's Football. And to me, that is one of the most important things in all of this. In any partnership or anything I ever get involved in, I work off vibes. If I get on with people, if I feel I can trust people, I'll give them 100%. And I've been shown nothing but respect since I've done bits on there. So, yeah, you know, whatever it is, but it's been fun and I've enjoyed it. Are you not the owner of Anfield Agenda? Yes. Myself and Connor started the channel together. It's a partnership. So yes, so people often think that maybe we have had offers for people to come in and buy stakes of Anfield Agenda, but as I'm somebody who doesn't take away from Anfield Agenda, that felt very weirdly wrong. I'm hoping in the next month or two to be at a point where I will be full time at YouTube and I will transition. But until that day, we don't think of it as owning anything. We just think of it as fun. So, but yeah, it's myself and Connor, straight down the middle. Loving the accent. Well, thank you very much. I was born with it. I've worked on it for 39 years. Everybody has a boss. I'm not somebody that copes well with the word boss though, Brian, because as you probably imagine, I have very strong opinions. So, let's just say I've had a fair few run-ins with employers over the years when I've had jobs, because I'm somebody that can't bite my tongue. Do you know what I mean? If I think that we've all had a boss, haven't we, at some point in our lives that somehow blagged their way into the job and was an idiot. And I'm unfortunately the type of person that can't help myself but to say, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're doing, how the fuck did you get this job? Now, obviously, that's not the Goldbridge scenario, because Mark is very good at what he does and got there, but we've all had that job, haven't we? Where we've gone in there, we've had some clown of a boss that I don't know how they've gotten the job, but we all sit there and go, seriously? I mean, stealing a living? Is Sabrina the boss? 100% yes. 100% yes. I know my place in this house, put it that way. According to the Echo, Liverpool could make contract with Pedri. Okay. I don't think Barca will let him go, but he does only have 1 year left on his contract, Pedri, so that's worth keeping an eye on. Craig, do you have a boss, mate? It's called a wife. Yeah, oh, definitely, mate. Do you know what I mean? I know my place in this house. There's not many people in this world that scare me, but my good lady wife scares the bejesus out of me because she's so placid and calm, but Jesus, when she loses it. I've seen her and me ma have a go at each other before, but, you know, obviously before my mum passed away, but yeah, she's small, but she's a hardy little thing. Let me say that for you. She's, she's a mad little bitch. What else have we got? Lampard or Scholes? I don't really have a preference, mate. I don't really have a preference. Both did very good for their respective clubs. Would you consider an erectile dysfunction business that's interested in sponsoring AA? Fucking right, I would. I'd do an erectile dysfunction, I had no problem. I'd do anything, me. I don't feel embarrassment, mate. So, yeah, pitch me a erectile dysfunction company. Want to come, Newman? Anybody like that? Hit me up, yeah, absolutely. Have erectile dysfunction problems? Whack a few of these into you, you'll be grand. Sure, you'll be balls like a Bengali tiger. You know what I mean? Get this stuff into you, mate, and you'll be lashing around it all night long. Or him, if that's your preference. But either way, what I'm saying to you is, ba-doing! So yeah, man, hit me up. Hit me up. Growing a nice beard there, Craig. Now, this is the extent of my facial hair, I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's about it, you know. I wish I could grow a beard. I'd love a proper beard. Opinions on Dirk Cow. Love him. What work ethic. What a man. Love Dirk Cow. Where do I think Arsenal will finish next season? Be honest. 7th or 8th? 7th or 8th. I'm not being rude. You asked me to be honest. That's my honest opinion. Love you on That's Football. Thank you very much, mate. And well, it's been fun. Do you know, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of international football, but God, we've been spoiled with these Euros. It's been great. Please, you not That's Football, and you need say Anfield Agenda, said Jordan Purcell. Mate, Anfield Agenda is going nowhere. I am 100% going to be doing every single Liverpool watch along next season on Anfield Agenda, and Anfield Agenda is going nowhere. This is our baby. This is us. Do you know what I mean? Just think of That's Football as, I'm trying to think of a sexual term that won't get me banned here. The vinegar strokes. There you go. Thoughts on Drogba? One hell of a player. One hell of a player, Didier Drogba. Right, who's your favourite player ever? Diego Armando Maradona. Renato Sanches close apparently said Zach. Yeah, so kind of conflicting reports on that, Zach. Some people think it's close, some people think it isn't. And, I only found out today that Bayern have a buyback option. Of course, no confirmation that they want to take that up or not, but excuse me, hiccup. I don't know, mate. I mean, I'd be happy if it was close. Opinions on Harvey Elliott. Very excited to see how he gets on. Liverpool fan through and through, and yeah, I'm all for Harvey Elliott. Let's see how he gets on. Messi or Ronaldo? The chat will answer that. They know my answer to that question. I'm literally asked that on every stream. You on That's Football for the semi-final. I think I'm on there for the Spain-Italy one, but I don't know yet. I'm sure I'll get a message off Mark tomorrow or something. Who do you think will win the Euros? Italy. But what I will say is England have a good chance, but it's going to take a performance and a half to beat that Italian team. They just look like they are inspired by some greater power or something. They're just, yeah, it'll take a big performance. Jordan Purcell, thank you for the super sticker, dude. Pele to go? I don't think so, to be honest with you. And I'm fed up of hearing about Pele's, when somebody breaks his goal scoring record, all of a sudden, we found 200 goals under a rock over here that we forgot about. Let's add them in. To me, it goes like this, in my opinion. Maradona, Messi, Ronaldo, George Best, Pele. That would be my top 5. And then Johan Cruyff. Oh God, I could go on all day actually, but yeah. Haaland or Mbappe? I'd rather Mbappe at Liverpool. Prime Terry or Ferdinand? Ferdinand. Both exceptional centre-backs, but I said this before, I've seen Rio Ferdinand play in person once when I was at Old Trafford on a day trip with loads of my family members, and I wanted to go on the piss because I was 20 something at the time. So I went over on a cheap jolly up day out, and I was extremely impressed by Rio Ferdinand's reading of the game, by how he was always in the right position. But look, you're talking about 2 Premier League all-time great centre-backs there. Both of them are top-notch. Would I sell Gomez? No, absolutely not. What's Saul? So, look, there are reports that Atletico Madrid are willing to sell Saul. He's got a €150 million release clause, but they want a lot less than that. The price seems to range from €40 million to 70 or 80 million euro. And his injury record is really good as well. I think he's only missed 17 or 18 games his entire career, and what is he now, 26? So, looks like he could be available to move. Whether we are genuinely interested or not remains to be seen. VVD or Company? Virgil van Dijk is always going to be the answer. Company himself gave the answer to that question, mate. So you don't need me to answer it. Vincent Kompany said that Virgil van Dijk's the best centre-back to ever grace the Premier League. And if, Kompany knows his ball. Can you see Man United signing Varane? Yes, I can. The interesting part of that, though, to me, Niall, is the whole part about whether United would include Donny van de Beek as part of the deal, because apparently that's something Madrid would want. Fabregas or Ozil? Fabregas for me. But that could be my Barcelona bias shining through there. Drogba or Torres? Do you know what? I'm going to be honest. As much as I love Torres, I think Drogba's longevity would edge it. So Torres at Liverpool was unbelievable, but I'm not going to sleep on Didier Drogba. The man was, he was a shithouse. He was tough as nails when he needed to be. He was a very fine player. Would I take Spinazzola and Locatelli at Liverpool? No, because I'm always nervous about signing any Italian players, Joel. He saying he wants Nicola Barella earlier on in the video, I know, but to me this is another either it's just my ignorance of them, or they're just performing really well for Italy in the Euros. Sorry. Craig, what's the W? Well, anything I'm involved in, mate, usually has a W. Robertson or Prime Marcello? Fuck Andy Robertson. Oh, disrespect Andy Robertson. Andy Robertson is goated, in my opinion. Worst player you've ever seen at Liverpool? Worst for varying reasons. I'm not just saying, you'll get the Sean Dundees, you'll get loads of names, but one player I wish never put on a Liverpool jersey is Paul Konchesky. There you go. Ribery or Robin? Robin for me. I never really got the Ribery stuff. And I mean, good player, don't get me wrong. But I like somebody like Arjen Robben or Mohamed Salah or Thierry Henry, where you know what they're going to do, but best of luck stopping them. You know, the kind of way, like, they're cutting in onto their left foot, but yeah, it still happens. Or in Henry's case, he's cutting in from that left-hand side, but watch the ball end up in the net anyway. I love that. Oh yeah, El Hadj Diouf, yes. I stand corrected. I want to change my statement. You are absolutely the spitting scumbag. Yes, him. Sorry, you're right. You were all right. El Hadj Diouf is the correct answer. Maybe it's I'm traumatized and I've blocked him out, but yes, that is the correct answer. El Hadj Diouf. And the disdain that he has shown towards Liverpool as well since he left. The snidey comments about Carragher and Gerrard. So yeah, him. You're right. You've nailed it as always. Alisson or Reina? I refuse to pick, because let me tell you something. Pepe Reina, prime Pepe Reina, was a special breed of goalkeeper. Distribution like I still haven't seen to this day. Leadership, lovely fella. I can't pick. I refused it. I love them both equally. They're both absolute heroes to me. Michael Owen or Peter Crouch? Crouch, because I don't like Michael Owen. And who doesn't love a bit of Crouchy? How's your day been? Good. Good. Opinion on Dudek? It's a fairly average goalkeeper, Rory, if I'm being honest. Will always be a hero because of Istanbul. But, yeah, not somebody I'd look at as a great at Liverpool, if I'm being really honest about it. But I'll always love him. I like your tops of Jordan Purcell. Thank you very much. It's like 3 or 4 seasons old, I think. It's a Toronto FC one. Prime Pepe Reina is one of the best keepers ever. Oh, he was magnificent, mate. Honestly, breaking records, really early sweeper keeper. Just very, very special, Pepe Reina. As is Alisson, of course. Spam or breaded ham? I don't like either of them. Yeah, I don't like either of them. Just give me a honey roast ham or something. Loving your channel, Craig. Thank you, Paul. Doku or Malin? Doku. Opinion on Denmark? So happy for them. Absolutely. I love a team that has spirit. I love a team that, plays with passion and pride and, no fear. And look, Denmark, with what they've been through in this tournament, look, nothing but love. That's all I'm going to say. Look, I'm going to head off, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say my good night. My daughter's home from work. We've done a good one here. We've done an hour and 35, which is pretty good. Tomorrow. I think I'll be back on tomorrow. So, again, please do hit the subscribe button. Drop a like on the video. And I will chat to you guys really, really soon. Have a cracking rest of your... What day is it? Sunday. And, yeah, thank you for tuning in as always. Lots of love. And I will talk to you soon.